Ladies and gentlemen, I'm level 27 Marker Man, and this is Let's Play Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I should have probably put some distance between that and the previous thing. Ah well, if my whole semi-non-professional thing, leaving non-professional things in deliberately, certain ones, as long as I think they're entertaining, you might see something before the ladies and gentlemen thing. What's this do? I'm saying no a lot because I love the dialogue in this game. It's like one of my top dialogues. Let's see. My top dialogues in video games are this. Oh yeah. Yeah. This. Well. Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. And now it's the other one I can't remember. Oh, was it Mario RPG? Yeah, it was Mario RPG. Yeah. Mario RPG and Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Those are my top three. When I think of games I like the dialogue in, those are the first. That and those two games and this one are the first ones I think of. But that's all that's with that. I wonder what yours are. I wonder if she had her pirate costume on for that. Apparently she doesn't. She can't. You can't climb as a pirate. Hammer bones, bros. Oh, yeah, you can't duck through these. Oh no! Give me that. I want that bag, even if it's useless. How are our items doing? Oh, this is a big remix of the dungeon theme from the first Shantae game. More pike balls, more bones to crush. Oh no, reduce them to bones, but it was a pile of bones when I started. That's not gruesome at all. Hey, okay, what else was there? Story stuff again. Oh yeah, the one where I was just talking about the last recording, where I had like I was talking about prequels, and I had like 3 prequels in it. I was like, I don't like prequels! Well, like I said, I'm releasing them at the same time. Well, okay, except for one of them is released a little later, I think. And actually, that's the one before all of them. As part of the plan, but that becomes relevant in there. And it's not there, and I would pretty much make sure that's written. Like I want, like, the main story consists of 4 books so far, and I intend for more, but it's along the lines of not a huge deal. Ouch. Let's tank it like a woman, not a little girl, a woman. Anyway, and that's where I'm going with that sentence. But anyway, yeah, no, and part of that is I think it's perspective, but it's sort of, and there was like the whole rewrite thing. Like the rewrite comes down to one detail that I had an idea for it at first. Oh. I was looking for the map this time. That's the reason I fell back down. Oh yeah, the reason for the rewrite... Like, I'm going through the big rewrite right now. And the reason for that is because, scouting ahead with cannons. The grossest cannons ever, might I add. Oh yeah. Because, I had an idea for what they would be, but I didn't really capture it well until I realized the way they start is to sort of be a nameless character. Literally. In every sense. Because to me, it's like the weakest type of character anyone could be in a story is one who is nameless. And nameless it probably is another official term. The best example is... these enemies would technically be nameless, for starters, but that's more on the bad guy's end. Which is not what I'm going into, but I feel it could be covered in the one I'm doing, but not for the sake of what I've got so far so much. But who knows, because there's a lot more I planned for it, and that kind of stuff might appear later. Regardless, it's like, you know, the townspeople type characters who are kind of just there to show the population is a decent size. Oh, Cackle Tower map. And they also show that, in size, and they are kind of there to give the bad guys a kill count. Not often. Or things of that nature. for what it's worth. And that's why the writers put them in there. Or usually. And okay, to be fair, and you know, it's like, oh, I'm whining about it. Well, there's the thing. I'm not saying that makes any of their stories bad. In fact, there have to be nameless people in stories to a degree, unless you have like 5. This is like Beast Wars style, where you have like 5 characters, only have 5 characters, period, main characters at all in the story. Well, even then they have sort of a few. Even then they find ways, but early on they didn't have a nameless character. But I'm digressing again. But that's actually a challenge, really, for what it's worth. Especially if it's like an action tale where you're saving the world or something like that. Because in order to save the world, there's got to be a lot of people to... Effectively, there's got to be a lot of people to save. And that's not really the... I think... Okay, it's like... Oh, I'm complaining about it too much. Actually, that's not what I mean to do with this. It's more like... It's just an observation. You can do what you want. That's fine. But... It's just what I see in it, and honestly, if I wasn't writing a story, then it would be just complaining. But since I'm writing it, it's like it's my idea. I'll deal with it how I want to deal with it. If you don't want to deal with this idea, that's fine. Perfectly fine with me. That didn't help at all. Oh, I was backtracking. Now I have to go back around again. Yeah. That's just the way I see it with that. I'd rather make my ideas come to life in a sense than just of things I'd rather see happen that I don't see happen than to complain about it all the time. For what it's worth. And it's more on the writers than the characters or whatever, even though the writers are the real people. And even then, they probably have like time constraints and whatever from what I see for reasons why things that I don't like are in it. And they are focused more on other parts of the story. And it does allow ease of use since it's so common that you don't have to describe it as much. That's fair. Or as I'm understanding it too. But no, it's like a nameless person. But here's the thing, how do you have a main character who is nameless, for what it's worth, as part of this deal? That's one of the weirdest things, because a main character cannot be nameless, because they're described all the time. And it doesn't mean you have no name. Like, there's a mysterious guy who breaks into your house, you don't know his name. He's a named character, he's not in the nameless category. He's the threatening guy with the hood on, or whatever. I mean, obtain Risky's hat. Ever. Or he's not generic guy who you ask where the bathroom is at best, or he's just kind of there. He doesn't even need a description. It's just he's just part of the group of there's a town full of people thing. Okay, that's just to describe what nameless means. This is a bad description because it's sort of all over the place of what I'm talking about and when. I will admit that. And I'm missing details, too. For what it's worth. I know I'm leaving things out, but more to keep this conversation more concise than it already... keep this conversation concise. And given how long-winded this is already, it's like... remember, this is how I spend most of my free time, so... I have a lot to think about it. I made it myself kind of a thing. Well, yeah. On that note, it's very hard to... hard to explain how it's working. Oh yeah, I wanted to explain how you can have a main character who's nameless. Well... Who's truly nameless. Well, my idea was, that's what the prequels come in. See, there's an event in one of them that corresponds to an event in the first book. But it's just told from the perspective of the one character and the other. And until a certain point, that the main character of the whole series is nameless in that prequel book. Because it stars a different main character in the prequel one. Or something like that. And that's where it that's pretty much part of why that prequel's in, and why I do that whole rewrite. Because I there's another part to this whole thing. I'm hesitant to say, because it's like, I feel like it could be a spoiler, because I want to treat it that way. But at the same time, I feel like it might be kind of expected where this would go. And, but regardless, whether I don't tell you, it will remain the same. And it's not ready yet, for start, at the same time as I say this, because, like I said, I do this huge rewrite with new details. What if newer things come in later that I was like, oh, this would be a good setup from a past event? Then, I have to get it up to a certain point where I think, okay, everything should be fine from here on. And I think after Book 4... and the 3 prequels that are required to get that are done, I'll be fine. Yeah, there's like, I said, there's 3 of them. Like, one of them, like the one I talked about that with the crossover event thing, that one's absolutely necessary for that reason and stuff. It establishes the origin of the main character and stuff like that. Did I hit? I thought I missed the switch. Oh, I think I got 2. The last one's down here. I don't think there's any heart squids right in this room. I might be back though. I know I'll be the Terminator and I'll be back. Oh, it's good for these bats because these bats are annoying. Nice and rapid fire whip. Heart. Ow. Oh yeah, the second thing. Oh, that was that one prequel, and this was the first thing I wrote on it, technically. Originally it was the Book 1, since the event crossed over, but and Book 2 was actually Book 1. I told you I did a massive rewrite, and that's what I've been doing right now, and that's how massive it was. It made me change the numbers. But since I haven't released anything, it's like, that all those details are kind of just... you don't need to know. It's kind of an interesting story, but for the sake of the story itself, I don't need them. Per se. Whatever. Oh yeah, one of them, the world itself it's in is very crazy in a lot of ways. Is one of the points of the other prequel. Because it's like, it's so weird that it's like, and the main character defies a lot of the norms of this already weird world that I needed to establish her in the first place. So, even early on, too. In order to have norms, you have to have a story before that, so... but if they don't understand the world, that's gonna get hard to explain at all, isn't it? Like, just even the norms of the world. So... one of those prequels is pretty much a world-building book, for what it's worth. With the main character who's pretty much a normal guy. Because really, if you're going to go into a weird world, there's really 2 ways to do it. Number 1, you have a person who's... number 1, you have a very normal person and take as few liberties as possible into the world. Number 1, you take as few liberties as possible. Just slap it onto the real world, a la Bleach or Harry Potter, for example. Another way is to have a very normal guy be the protagonist. Star Wars comes to mind. Harry Potter works in that one, because Harry is exposed to the human world before he is in the Wizarding world, so that's probably the most famous example of that, and that does work. And he doesn't have, and there's the third way. It means he doesn't have to be the third way, which is make the main character an idiot, like One Piece and Naruto did, at least right off the bat. And well, actually, no, through the whole thing. Not frickin' Naruto. I think Luffy's smarter at this point. Regardless, I saw the stupid ending. I only liked one bit of it. Whatever, it's got that off my chest. But no, it's good for examples, because how it started was actually pretty cool. I digress again. Yeah. Oh, sweet, we're here. But no, those are ways to get a story in. It explains it fluidly to the audience and stuff. Hey there, giant spider! I'm totally not talking about this game. Oh, now we're going with the internet puns. Web puns. Alright! Does that make this me a troll if I'm beating on the spider mercilessly? Effectively leading it to killing. Especially with my hair or something. I don't know. Regardless. Oh, there we go. That's why, yeah, this is kind of fun. They have a lot of stuff they do, so it's kind of fun to do this without Monster Milk for once. I do like the rapid whips, though. You roast these guys in pirate mode, because I can just jump up there. 5 seconds. No, Oh, and there's a third one, which is, yeah, like I said, one of them is just world building, and so I decided to go with a person who's more normal coming to this world, which makes sense in the context of the world itself. So, and also to be fair, it's like it's just world. It's more than that. It actually important elements from it actually play a role in the main story later, though not right off the bat, because I didn't think of the prequel until I was in the middle of book 2, no 3. Oh, the original book, it's complicated. No, it was actually book 4. Then I was decided I was going to turn that into. Never mind. Don't. Unless you're talking to me in person about this, this will make no sense. And even I have trouble keeping track of it for a while. Everything I did in it. But it's fun.
Tinkerbats.
Having fun with it. Tinkerbats.
Hey.
And it's like when you watch a lot of, when you have like friends who talk you into watching a lot of critics who destroy bad mediums. No, not bad mediums. That's wrong. One less source of evil for the pirate master.